In the last session, we mainly discussed the editions or modules of Java. So three modules JSE, JEE and JME. Mainly our concentration on this module. Now in this session, we are moving to the first topic of our advanced Java, that is JDBC. That is JDBC. What is the full form of JDBC? Java Database Connectivity. So what is mean by this one and what is the need of this one? I think my voice is audible to each and everyone. Okay, no problem. So what is the use of this JDBC? So I have many number of regions. First I will give you one simple region. For example, I opened some Java program. Assume the program consists of some set of statements system.out.println welcome system.out.println welcome. I create a class within the class main method. In the main method, some printf statement. Now, this statement is perfectly executed by the compiler. Yes or no? Compiler directly converts this program into .class file and that is loaded in JVM and perform execution. This happened perfectly. There is no problem. Why? Why means this syntax is understandable by the Java compiler. Understandable by the Java compiler. For example, instead of writing the statement inside the Java program, suppose if I return a statement select star from student. If I return a statement select star from student. Now what is the thing? This statement is not understandable by the compiler. Yes or no? This is not the programming rules of Java. Now what happened? Generally this is called a query related to some database. That means even though I written the query inside the Java program, but the compiler is unable to compile or unable to execute the particular statement, then what we need? You got my point? What we need? Similarly, at the same time, we need one database. We need one database. Yes or no? Now you know what is database. Anyway, after coming this introduction, I will move to database again. So database means simply storing of some information. Okay. What happened? This query is stored into the database. That query is stored into the database. That query is processed inside the database and the query after processing execution inside the database and the output is also displayed on the database. Why? Java does not consist of any information related to this query, but I want the output. Now you got it. Suppose some 100 student information is stored. By executing the program, you need to get the details of some students. But in Java, it is not possible to execute the query. You got my point? Now that everything is happened database. So this is my application. Now or else I give this is my application in the simple term. For example, if you open Gmail, user ID, password and login. Yes or no? User ID, password and login. Here user application means simply this is a Java program and internally this is some user interface that is visible to us. A user interface visible to us. Here if you given user name, and password, and by click on login button, what happened internally, one program is executed and the program need to fetch your details. Yes or no? How? Communication of this application to database. This communication is provided by using JDBC. That communication is provided by using JDBC. Now you understand the point. What is JDBC? Java database connectivity. We are communicating my Java program to this. Why? Sir, what is the need of communication? Okay. If I does not want to communicate, no problem. But internally or externally, some difficulties are there. What are the difficulties? For example, user directly not able to go to the database. Directly is not possible to fetch his records. Yes or no? Why? Because every person, even you are a technical or non-technical person, you know how to open the Gmail simply by giving the URL in the web browser, by giving user ID and password, you are getting the details. But internally, if you don't know this one, what happened? The user need to move to the database and he need to write the query. The user has to write the query and execute the query and then fetch the results. Is it possible? Yes or no? In general scenario, direct communication of database is not possible. Why? The database queries are different to regular queries. And one more problem is unsecure. What is mean by unsecure? If a user directly interacts with the database, he may change the data. Yes or no? He may change the data. So that is another situation that is also not preferable. So user does not directly interact with the database. To interact with the database through some interface or through some program. Even though it looks like an interface, internally we have a program. So for that communication, we are using JDBC. For that communication, we are using JDBC. Okay. Now next point. Okay, now you got the idea. Why JDBC? Communication of database. Here remember, everything operation is performed and output is also available under the database only. Just to whatever the result, it transfer the result to the Java program. It transfer the result to the Java program. Okay. So right now I given one reason. Why JDBC? The first question is why JDBC? One reason. What is the reason? Java program unable to execute the queries. And another one is second reason also, user directly not interact with the database. Now one more reason is actually before JDBC, we have the concept of ODBC is available. ODBC, Open Database Connectivity, is available. So this is also the purpose is same. This is also used to connect with the database. To connect with the database. Now, what is the problem? Why we are moving to JDBC? Simple problem is here to connect with the database, the ODBC API. What is API? I will explain later. It uses it uses ODBC driver. What is mean by driver? Anyway, I will show you. So if you are using the concept of ODBC, it uses a ODBC driver. What happened? You are using driver, no problem? Yes. Remember the ODBC driver, that logic is written in C programming. That logic is written in C programming. Sir, what happens? It is also a programming language. Remember, if you written in C programming, that is platform dependent. Yes or no? Platform dependent. And also if it is unsecure, it is unsecure. So that is the reason. So if it is a platform dependent, Java develop their own API. Yes or no? Java develop their own API for connecting to the database. For connecting to the database. So their own API, they are developed some drivers, JDBC drivers. Anyway, we will discuss JDBC drivers in the next session. First, I will explain theoretically what happens. Once you understand the structure, it is very easy to write the program. Okay. Now to overcome the problem of ODBC API, what is the problem? For everything we need a driver, but the driver is written in C language, that is platform dependent. To overcome this problem, Java defined an own API, that is JDBC API is developed by Java, which consists of JDBC drivers. Now observe one point, is JDBC comes under JSE or JEE? Generally, the last session, what is the important of last session? Now see this one. JSE is a complete language and part of technology. You observe or not? I given one point. It is a complete language and some part of technology. Now remember, JDBC is a technology, and it is comes under JSE. That means for JDBC you no need to install additional software. Whenever you are installing JDK, go back to the previous session. Now you understand why I am discussing the previous session. So whenever you are installing JDK, Java Development Kit software, automatically JSE is ready to use. In the sense, JDBC is also ready to use. JDBC is also ready to use. You got the point? Okay, fine. Now, coming to this point, API. What is the term API? API is Application Programming Interface. Application Programming Interface. Simple definition. If you are searching in the internet also, sorry, before that one, I will explain one more point. JDK means Java Development Kit. JDBC is available where, so we have the package name java.sql is the package. Java.sql package. This package consists of this JDBC API. SQL package consists of that JDBC API. Okay. What is API? In the simple sense, API is many definitions are available. Different persons treated in different way. Okay, API means simply a predefined programming. What is the meaning? Everything is predefined. We need to use. Suppose if you want to extend, you can extend like this. A JDBC API is simply collection of classes, interfaces, and specification. An API is collection of classes, interfaces, and specification. And somebody say that API is simply a document. API is simply a document. The document consists of description of all the features of the product. All the features of the product. In the simple sense, remember this is the popular definition. It consists of classes, interfaces and specification. Generally classes and interfaces. What is this one? The classes and interfaces is used for designing or developing the application. Yes or no? Predefined programming. Any programming consists of classes and interfaces. Those are designed, those are by classes and interface. Now, the purpose of specification is simply it is act as a mediator between Java program and then database. So this is simply an API. Simply an API. Now up to now, you know different terms. Now I entered into JDBC. Up to now, what you know? Why you are using JDBC? The first point, Java database connectivity. Okay. After knowing the JDBC, so one point is there. Instead of ODBC, I am using the concept of JDBC. Now, what is the diagram? This is my Java application. Yes or no? This is my Java application. The Java application connected to the database by using JDBC. Internally, the JDBC in the sense by using JDBC drivers. Here, this Java consists of JDBC API. Java consists of JDBC API. Okay. Now, coming to the next point. This specific thing. JDBC API. So remember, API means I used one word, predefined programming. Programming means predefined classes and interfaces. Predefined classes and interfaces. Now you need to remember different interfaces that are available under JDBC API. You need to remember why. So mostly today and tomorrow, mostly today, I will give you the complete description in theoretical. Once we move to the programming, sir, what are the predefined interface? Now, right now, remember, the predefined interfaces are driver. Driver is one interface. Connection is one interface. Now, anyway, the next topic is this one. Statement. Anyway, statement. Prepared statement. What is the meaning? Remember, if you are writing at least one JDBC application, you need to use all these. You need to use all these things. Callable, callable, statement interface. Actually, these three are same. Some minor differences. These three are same. Next one is result set interface. Result set interface. And then we have an extension. The extension is result set. Result set metadata interface. Result set metadata interface. Now database metadata interface. Finally row set interface. These are the different interfaces, many more available. These are the popular interfaces that are available under JDBC. Anyway, in our JDBC topic, we will discuss all these interfaces. We will discuss all these interfaces. Okay. Finally, coming to classes. What are the different classes that are available under JDBC API? The most important, remember only this one. The most important is driver manager. The class name is driver manager class. Along with we have some more classes. Blob is one class, Clob is one class, types is another class. These are the different classes. Now you are getting 1 point. What are the different interfaces? What are the different interfaces? And then what are the different classes that are available? Different classes that are available. Okay, right. Now clear the point. Now move to my concept. Move to my concept. How to connect to the database? How do we connect to the database? So different steps you need to follow. Different steps you need to follow. Before going to cover these steps, I will give you one more point. Sir, up to now you are using the term database, database only. Yes or no? I am using the term. To know, I am using the term database only. Why database only? We already have the concept of files, yes or no? File is also used to store information. Database is also used to store information. Why we are not using file? Remember, depending upon the application, you can use file also. But most of the cases, database is preferable. Why? File in the sense simply, file means we can store only a limited amount of data. Understand? File means a limited amount of data. Coming to database, there is no limit on the database. And security point of view, it is unsecure, but database only authorized person, that is a user with the username and password, only authorized person can access the database. Yes or no? And one important thing is files are not shareable. Files are not shareable. Why? If you are sharing the file means different persons at a time perform different activities. So there is a loss of information. But database, by using the concept of locking mechanism, so the information is stored. And very important thing is CRUD. This is the popular term related to any database. CRUD, create, read, update, delete. That means the updation operations. These operations performed in database only. Files does not support these type of operations. So these are the different reasons why I am selecting the file. Why I am selecting the database. Okay. Okay, I selected the database. What is the database? Either you can select Oracle database, MySQL database, SQL database, MongoDB. Depending upon your requirement, you can select any database. Now, what is the question? How to connect to the database? Why? What connect? A Java program is available now. Java is available in your system. Database is available in your system. You need to establish a communication. Yes or no? You need to establish a connection to the Java application to the database. For this, we need to follow 5 steps. Suppose if you are searching in the internet, they are given some 7 steps. In some references, they are given 6 steps. In some references, they are given 5 steps. Whatever it is, so somebody in detail they are division, somebody is a normal division. Whatever it is, understand the concepts. So what are the steps? The steps are loading and register, loading and register of drivers. Yes or no? Understand the previous diagram. Java is connected to Java is connected to database by using the driver, JDBC driver. First you need to load and register. Okay. Once the register is loaded, now it is ready for use. Now what is the next step? Connection. Yes or no? My next step is you need to establish the connection. Simply this is called creating a connection. Okay. Connection is established. Then it is ready for transfer the information. Create statement. What is mean by this create statement? So I will explain each and every step, then you will get the clear idea. Okay. So within a single point, it is not possible to understand. Okay. Create step is completed. Processing, that is executing, somebody called as processing. And finally close the connection, close the connection. Okay, these are the step by step procedures. Now first I will move to step 1. First I will move to step 1. What is step 1? Loading and register driver. In JDBC, we have 4 types of drivers. Anyway, we will discuss the driver again. That is one more topic. We will discuss the driver later. First, assume you have a driver. If it is a Oracle driver, MySQL driver, whatever it is, loading and register the driver. What is mean by loading the driver? Simple point. First, we need to allocate the memory. Now, what is the first point? Loading. What is loading? Loading means you need to allocate the memory. Yes or no? Driver is also some memory is required for storing. How to allocate this memory? And after allocation of the memory, it is not ready for use. Just it is loaded. Understand the point. Just it is loaded. After loading, you need to perform register operation. Register operation means simply activation. So generally the popular example is mobile phone and SIM card. Understand? Mobile phone and SIM card. First, within the mobile, we have some space. In that space, we are storing my SIM card. Yes or no? That means we are allocating some memory. We are allocating some memory in the mobile for storing the SIM card. Immediately, for the first time, immediately if you are storing the SIM card, in the sense it is activated, it is ready for use. No, you go to the customer care, that is corresponding customer, and you need to activate the SIM card. You understand my point? First to load inside the memory, that is allocate the memory and load the driver, and then activate the driver. If you are activating and it is ready for use. Now generally two types are there. Here loading and register, two types of loading and register the driver. Two types in a sense, we can done in two ways. One is called explicit loading. Second one is called implicit loading. So the two ways of loading the driver. explicit loading. It is also called as manual loading. Implicit loading, it is also called as automatic loading. Anyway, I will explain these two, but you need to remember the second one. 100% of situation, it is not preferable to use the first one. But anyway, so my goal is whether you are using or not using. If it is available, I will explain. Depending upon your requirement, according to your requirement, you can use anything first, but prefer to use second one, implicit only. Okay, anyway, I will explain the first one, how to load explicit driver. First, what you are doing, the loading means we need to allocate the memory. I think you know the concept of Java. For when a class, for example, I created a class sample with some statements, is the memory is loaded? No. You know the execution flow. If you follow my core Java, first the main method is copied into Java stack area. Inside the Java stack area, I have a statement sample ob is equal to new sample of. That means the new sample of some memory is allocated inside the heap area, and automatically the sample class is loaded into the method area. I think remember in Java I explained clearly the execution flow. Okay, right now also, so the same concept of oops, now driver some OB is equal to new driver of. Now you understand the point. First, how to load the driver? By using the same syntax. Driver OB is equal to new driver of. Remember, actually this is not driver. For your understanding only, I am using the name driver. Actually, what is this one? If you are using Oracle driver, you have one syntax. If you are using MySQL driver, another syntax. If you are using MongoDB, another syntax. Suppose here the name is just the driver. Means, for example, if you are using Oracle driver, in place of driver, you need to write the statement oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver. Anyway, I will explain the practical. I will explain here the name of the driver that you want to load. By using this statement, the memory is allocated and that is referred by object. Okay, fine. After completion of loading, what is the next step? Registration. Yes or no? After completion of loading, my next step is registration. For registration, for registration, one predefined class is available. What is the class? The class name is, you already know. Before 5 minutes, I explained one topic. The JDBC API consists of 4 classes. Among them, the first one is driver manager. The driver manager. It is the class. This class consists of one method. The method name is register driver of. OB. Understand the concepts carefully. Register driver. Register driver. This is a method available under the driver manager class. Now we are passing OB. What is OB? Whatever the driver we are created, that is referred by OB. Yes or no? Now this OB is registered. Yes, clear the point. This whatever the driver is OB. Now that OB is registered. Register driver of OB means now loading and registration is completed successfully. Loading and registration completed successfully. Clear the point? Okay, very good, fine, sir. Now, how do we access a method? The method is accessed if it is an instance method by using object, if it is a static method by using class name. Remember, the register driver is a static method available under driver manager. So we can access like this: driver manager dot register driver of OB. Now these are the two steps. Compulsory, you need to write the two steps. You need to write the two steps manually. Okay, for establishing connection, sorry, for loading and register of the driver. Okay. If you are interested, you can use this one. Sir, I am interested on this one. Okay. Move back to implicit loading and register. Move back to implicit and loading. In this, we have one method for name. So I think you know, in my core Java, I discussed the method for name. So in exception handling concept, go back to exception handling. In exception handling concept, I discussed the method for name. Anyway, again I will discuss the method. Generally, for name is used for loading at the time of execution. For example, you have static class, dynamic class. So whenever you return the program, an object is created, automatically memory is allocated. But if the class is not at all useful, but even though the memory is allocated, wastage of memory. Generally, for name is the method which is used to load a class at the time of execution. Where this is available, the for name is available under a predefined class. Remember, the predefined class name is also class. Don't confuse. This is capital C, not small c, not keywords, CLAS, not keyword. This is a predefined class. This predefined class consists of the method for name, which is executed at runtime. Now, this for name method is used to load the driver and to register at the time of running. Clear the point? Remember one important. What is the point? Dynamically loading the drivers. Dynamically loading the drivers. Okay, clear? What is the syntax? You no need to follow this syntax. You no need to follow this syntax. So this for name, I already explained the syntax. Anyway, if anybody don't know, I will explain it again. Static void. So this for name is also static method. Void for name of which class you want to load. I already said for name is to load a class at runtime. You load a class at runtime. Here you are passing the class name. Suppose string class name. Here actually what is my class name? Driver manager, or whatever the driver you are using. Here this is a class name, yes or no? This is a class. I will explain with one example. Now make sure that this is the public method. If you have any exception, it can throws the exception also. Generally, the exception is throws. You are loading the class at runtime. Now, what is the chance of exception? Class not found exception. The class not found exception. Okay, clear? Now, if you want, I will give you one example. What is that example? So this is the syntax. Is this executed? No. How do you execute the method? Class name. What is the class name? CLASS, class dot, like this. register driver is available under the class driver manager. Like this, for name is the method available under a predefined class dot for name of class dot for name of. Here within brackets you are writing string class name, that is in brackets in quotation you are writing the class that you want to load. Clear the point? The class that you want to load. Now what is the class? If it is a Oracle database, for example, I will explain. If it is a Oracle database, here also the class name, here also the class name, same thing. So for Oracle database, the syntax is like this: Oracle dot JDBC dot driver dot Oracle driver. Anyway, I will explain everything with an example. First, to just understand what happened theoretically. Now, by using this single statement, class dot for name of, here you are writing the driver. You are writing the class. That means the Java program is connected to Oracle database. We are loading and registering the Oracle driver. If it is connected to MySQL, here you are loading MySQL driver. If it is connected to MongoDB, in place you can write MongoDB. Now you understand which one is preferable compared to first one and second one. Single line. Yes or no? The single line is preferable. Now my first step is completed. What is my first step? Loading. Here again I will write Y. So my entire JDBC related to these 5 steps only. If you are not in a position to understand this one, remaining 10 classes no use. Loading and registering the driver. Loading and register the driver. We are using class dot for name of the name of the driver. So which driver you want to load? Okay. Assume the Oracle driver is loaded into my system. My second point is create or establish the connection. Establish the connection. Clear the point? How do we make establish the connection? Again, go back to the driver manager is the class. Driver manager class, this predefined class, yes or no? This is available under JDBC ABI. This driver manager class consists of one predefined method. The method name is get connection. The method name is get connection. Based on this method only you got some idea. Yes or no? Now the get connection is the method which is available in driver manager class. Get connection method is available in driver manager class, and this method is used for establishing the connection. This method is used for establish the connection of the Java program to the database. Java program to the database. Now, what is the syntax? You need to remember the syntax of the function. Remember, this get connection is also a static method. So, get connection of. Here, connection to which one? Connection to which one? You need to provide the URL. URL. That means we are providing, suppose www.gmail.com. So I need to establish the connection to the Gmail. That is URL. Yes or no? Anyway, each and every step again I will discuss in detail. First to understand the money, get connection of URL. Suppose it may throw it at the time of connection, it may throws. What is the type? You need to remember exception types. SQL exception. Okay, sir. Fine. The connection is established successfully. What it returns? The connection established successfully. What it returns? It returns one connection object. Yes or no? Once the connection is established, it returns one connection object. By using that connection object only, we can perform the remaining operations. Now, what is the return type? Return type is simply connection. This is an interface. Connection is an interface. Again, observe carefully. Driver manager is the class. Don't confuse. Driver manager is the class which consists of one method get connection. Which consists of one method get connection. This method is used for establishing the connection to the database. Fine. After establish the connection, what it returns? It returns one connection object, connection reference, whatever the name. By using that one, we perform remaining. But where that connection object is available? That is available under the connection interface. That is available under the connection interface. Okay, first point. Now, in place of URL, here two ways are available. In place of URL, simply sufficient. You can also take three parameters: URL, username, and password also. URL, username, password. Simple thing. Get connection of URL means you are connected to the particular link by using user, that is a default user and password, or else if you have a specific database. I think you know the concept database. Under we have specific database. You can connect to that particular database also. Now you understand? Anyway, I will write down. Simply see this one. Driver manager dot get connection of, like this. How to use this one? Like this. Here class dot for name of, like this, driver manager dot get connection of. First to write down the URL. First to write down the URL. Okay, so I return the URL. After completion of the URL, write down the username, that is to which database you want to connect. Write down the password of that particular database. Okay, yes or no? This is the method. Just I given the syntax here. How to perform? Here I said get connection is the static method. So how can we access a static method? Class name. So driver manager dot get connection. Okay, remember this syntax. Now, after establishing the connection, what it returns? It returns an object of connection. So, connection, some object name CON. Generally, these are common words. Anywhere we are using CON, OB, URL, username, password, generally use the same terms. Connection is an interface. CON is an object. Now, whatever the connection I established, now from now onwards, the connection is referred by using connection object. Is referred by using connection object. Okay, clear. I will explain one more point briefly, and again, this is not completed. What is my third step? My third step is create statement. Sir, I establish a connection. Establish a connection. Now third step is create A statement object. A statement object. Now, what is mean by statement object? Simply, I am writing a query. Select star from a student. That is my statement. Select star from student. That is my statement. So you need to create a statement object. Again, what is the method? Go back to the interface concepts. There I given 3 points: statement, prepared statement, callable statement. All are used for creating the statement object. Minute difference. Anyway, I will explain all the three also. Now, the statement interface consists of a method create statement of. The statement interface consists of a method create statement of. This is the method. This is the method. Where this method is available? This method is available under the interface, under statement interface. So throws for almost all the things, this is the concept of SQL. Throws SQL exception. Now where this is available, it creates a statement. The return type is statement public. Now you know one point. Remember, the point is the methods that are available in the interface are non-static method. Yes or no? If it is a static method, you need to provide the definition. But the methods in the interface are non-static. Come back to the previous two methods. For name method and get connection, the two methods are available under driver manager class. Those two are static methods. Now create statement, the method is available under the interface statement. This is the syntax. Anyway, I will show you how do we create a connection object. Sorry. How do we create a statement object? Simply, already a connection established. What is the name? Go back to the second step. My name is CON. Yes or no? Whatever the object you are created, here you can use like this. CON dot. CON dot create statement. Now you got the point. On that particular connection, we are creating the statement. On that particular connection, we are creating the statement. Now ST is equal to, after creation of the statement, now that is referred by ST. That is referred by ST. My third step is completed. Anyway, prepared callable I will discuss tomorrow. First to understand the 5 steps. Okay? Both are same. Statement, prepared, callable, all are same. One minute difference internally. Okay. Now my fourth step is execute the query. I written some query. You need to execute the query. So execute query. This method is also available inside the statement interface. Statement interface. Now, whenever you are executing query, depending upon the query, we are getting some results. Depending upon the query, we are getting the results. How do we execute the query? st dot, already statement is created. Understand? Form the link st dot execute. So under this we have again three methods. Execute one method, execute query is one method, execute update is one method. First I will give you at least one method. Execute query of, here you will write down the query. Okay. Now, if it produces any result, I am using the result set. Assume the result set is available. In the result set, we are storing the result. Suppose result set sum rs is equal to, that means I execute the query. Finally, close the connection. Finally, close the connection. How do close the connection? Con dot close off. Now I will repeat one more time. Understand carefully. First step. What is the first step? Load and register the driver. For that, I am using a method for name which is available in a predefined class of. So, first step, class dot for name of, within bracket you are writing the driver, which driver you want to load. Okay, perfect. Loading and registration of some Archil driver is successful. Okay. Second step, driver is loaded, but you need to establish the connection to the database. How? Driver manager class consists of one method, get connection. So driver manager dot get connection of, so URL with a specific username and password. Okay, the connection is established, but what is the return value? It returns a connection object, but where it is available? Inside an interface connection. Clear the point? Okay. Now CON, by completion of second step, a connection object is established. Assume the name is CON. What is the third step? Create the statement. Create the statement means now you are ready for simple terms for writing the programs. Now create statement. How to create statement? On that particular connection you need to create the statement. Yes or no? So that is the reason con dot create statement of, where it is available inside the interface statement. Now st object is created. Now what is st? St means simply a statement. On that particular statement, next step is execute. So st dot execute query. On that particular, I created a statement. Internally I will explain each and everything. I created a statement. On this statement I executed the query. Once that query is executed, you are getting the answer. Remember, here previously I written one statement, Java through JDBC connected to the database. Here I written the query, yes or no? Select star from student. Is the query is executed here? No. The query is moved to the database by using the first three steps. By using the first three steps, the query is moved to the database. Here within the database, we process the query. Within the database, we execute the query. From the database only, the output is displayed. Everything is happened inside the database. Once that output is produced, now through this driver, the output is again copied to this one. Now that is stored under a variable res. This is available result set. Anyway, I will explain the concept of result set in detail. So, result set. Now, okay, by using some for loop or by using some while loop, we can print each and every statement. Result set is simply a list of elements. That is some collection of data. Finally, con dot close. That means I closed the connection. I closed the connection. Now, any doubt related to this one? Any doubt related to this one? So just now I explained what happens. Five steps. Five steps. Anyway, next session generally step by step. So I used the word driver. What are the different types of drivers? First, to understand theoretically, the programming is very simple. The entire program follows the same procedure if you understand the theoretical concepts. Okay, clear the point. Any doubt related to this one? Please ask me. Okay, everyone clear. Fine. So that is the end of today's session. Thank you very much.